All right. Lorne, this is Lorne Marr, and I wanted to thank you for joining us today. We initially tried to go live, but due to technical difficulties, we were unable to. So we're recording this session and we're going to post it so everybody can view it and listen to it and hope that we're providing some insight. So I'd like to introduce everyone to our guest, Lorne. Lorne is the founder of LSM Insurance and FitAfter45, and one of the most positive guys that Dave, my husband, knows. And that's a big thing to say coming from this guy.
Well, me and Lauren go way back, I think, Lauren. I think it's probably around 10 years since 10 years since I got in the industry, and I met Lauren, and Lauren's always been an industry leader, kind of navigating the insurance world and really helping a lot of brokers, to say the least, in helping them become successful in their own rights. And building strong businesses. So we thought, why not take this time to interview Lorne, because of his vast experience in the industry and in all his endeavors, and kind of get his input and perspective on what's happening and how things are changing, for the better, for the worse, and what's happening in the industry. So thanks, Lorne, so much for joining us. We really appreciate it.
So maybe let's start off. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your companies, and give us some information about you.
Sure. Well, my primary gig is I've been in the insurance industry life insurance industry since 1993, so a few years. And I started with MetLife way back when as a career agent, and then went into the brokerage world in 2004. And started LSM Insurance, and we've been one of the leading online providers of life insurance solutions for about the last 16 years or so. And recently, we became part of Hub. Hub acquired LSM Insurance right when all this craziness kind of happened on March 2nd, and it's been that part of my life's been terrific. They've been great people to work with, and we're still both extremely excited to build the strongest lead generation network in the MGA world, and we're working together closely on that. And that's kind of a background on myself. My background is really in marketing. I mean, I often say there's a lot of people who know as much about insurance as me. I'm a CFP, but not a practicing CFP, and I have pretty good insights on insurance, but there's a lot of people who know as much about insurance as me, and a lot of people who know as much about marketing as me. But if you take those two together, I have a pretty good combination in those areas, and that's what I've been able to build upon on the last 26 years. That's what I've been doing. And then I also work on FitAfter45, which you know a little bit about, which is kind of a passion at this point. It's not really so much business endeavor, although we may do that more in the future. But it's really a passion that I have in terms of staying active and staying fit, because to me that's always really been the foundation of everything I do. If I don't have that level of health and that level of well-being, I can't be the kind of business person that I want to be. I can't be the kind of family person I want to be. I can't be the kind of friend that I want to be for people. So that's always been the foundation of everything that I've done.
I love that. I love that. And I think that's so important because, like the cliche saying, health is wealth. It's true, right?
Yeah, for sure.
I absolutely love that. So let's dive into it. I mean, all of this is going on with COVID-19. It's affecting businesses all over the world. From your perspective, in your industry specifically, what changes have you seen take place in the last couple of weeks with brokers and insurance companies alike? And what sort of insights can you provide on, what's currently happening, and, what sort of changes have you seen to date?
Well, I mean, there's definitely been a change in the way that people are doing business. Obviously you can't really meet with clients in today's environment. So the insurance industry was kind of trending towards a non-face-to-face type environment for the last number of years. And this has really forced it to, for people to go basically that much more in that direction. And a lot of what we do is still very similar. I mean, you still have to find solutions for people. You have to create value for people, but you have to do it in a different way. So, that's a big challenge. But in terms about the way you go about your day, you have to still, continue to build upon what you're doing. How am I going to create value for people? What's my value proposition to the brokers that I work with? What's my value proposition to the consumers that we're marketing to?
Yeah. And also, with my background in financial services, seeing how the insurance companies are adapting and changing their ways on a day-to-day basis is, I actually think, quite amazing. Especially in the insurance world, we're seeing some of the bigger companies come out with adjustments of underwriting, higher limits in terms of no liquids. I think Sun Life has changed it. I think there's a couple other ones. So it's actually quite interesting to see how they're evolving to stay relevant today, so brokers can still offer solutions. I think is impressive, to get these guys moving so fast.
Yeah, no, I agree for sure.
Yeah, no, 100%.
So, I think it's true. And I mean, you have to, change is a constant, and sometimes you have to change quicker than you normally would, and you have to adapt quicker than you normally would. And this is one of those times.
Yeah. And I would say that, there's a lot of professional service providers or industries as a whole that have been slow to adapt to, virtual offerings. I know when we talk about realtors or lawyers, they've just been slower to adapt. And I think, insurance advisors kind of fit into that same category. But now everyone's sort of pushed into practicing, through virtual resources. And it could potentially, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it could change the way things operate even beyond this. Even when things are, back to normal, there may be a new normal.
I agree totally. I mean, it's what we were just saying. The industry was trending in that direction.
Right.
Now, even post-COVID, you'll probably see a stronger emphasis on non-face-to-face communication, and the skills that you've developed in terms of offering that and delivering solutions in that environment are going to put you in a very good position post-COVID.
Yes.
So I think it's a great point.
And really from a marketing perspective, and this is some things we help with brokerages alike. We have quite a few that we work with. Getting them to evolve digitally over time has been so important, and it's amazing to see the transformations take place with their brokers and their marketing efforts, and realizing just handing out flyers or the old traditional marketing, how it's adjusted is so important, right?
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. There's always, I think, a blend of some principles that are universal in every environment and some principles that adapt to a new environment.
Right.
In terms of the way you treat people, in terms of the way you're able to communicate with people, a lot of that, and I'm talking verbal communication, a lot of those skills, body language, those skills are universal. But in terms of, adapting to a world in the internet versus before the internet, I've been doing this since 1993. So there was no real internet in 1993. There was no social media until, past whatever it is, 12 years. So, it's adapting to those things, using those principles that are universal and blending them into the environments that are changing that really make for a nice mix.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. How are you helping your brokers during this time? Like, what sort of pieces of advice are you giving your brokers at LSM, or that you would give, brokers beyond? How are you guiding them through this?
Sure. Actually, as we're doing this, part of my FitAfter45 is a standing desk, so you can see me in real time going from standing to sitting, something I was sitting a little bit too much. I like to do that quite frequently, get the blood flowing. But yeah, in terms of how I've been working with working with the brokers that we work with, emphasizing the need to continue to stay productive, to continue to have a plan, continue to give them the resources they need to work with the changing environment. So, for example, we're working with Hub now, which has been an unbelievable resource for all the brokers that we're working with in terms of this environment. They've set up a new COVID-19 section, which has basically real-time updates from the carriers in terms of underwriting protocol, delivery protocol, how policies are being sent out, all the types of things, video conferencing solutions, all the different things that a broker needs to succeed from a back-end point of view. In this environment, they've been able to give me the resources for it, and I've been able to share with them, and they've been communicating. In terms of marketing efforts, we've been supporting them. A lot of our lead programs still running strong, so the brokers we're working with on that, we're continuing to come up with those solutions. Different sales strategies or different marketing strategies on emphasizing the what our value proposition once again is for our clients. Why it's so important. What we're offering right now is really important. And it was really nice that the life insurance industry is being deemed an essential service, which is really makes you take stock in what we do.
Yeah, for sure. And I think, I'm also seeing it on the front lines. As I said, we do market for a couple brokerages. And, it's interesting to see how consumers are adjusting, but are also taking note of where they are. So what we're seeing a little bit is, I don't have any life insurance. Wow. Like, look
Now's
what's out here. Like, let's get some coverage in place.
Yeah.
Same thing with financial planning. Maybe I haven't looked at my finances or put a strategy in place before. Maybe now's the time, because you don't want to be left in a situation where you don't have an emergency fund, where you don't have certain things ready to go. So I think a lot of people are taking note of where they are. And if you don't have coverage, the great thing, like Lorne just said, is you could get $1 million of life insurance. You could have an application written tomorrow, and within, I think, a week or two, you could have coverage, depending on the carriers. Non-med carriers are pretty strong.
What carriers are providing like e-applications right now?
Pretty much almost all of them are offering it. I mean, everyone's, and once again, they, in terms of, and that's the process and the underwriting limits for how much you can get without meeting with a nurse. Because really that's a tricky part now is traditionally with life insurance, if you applied for an application and you're in good health and you wanted to get a policy, you'd generally be meeting with a nurse. I mean, Canada Protection Plan, Assumption Life, some of the other companies we work with, they always had no medical solutions, but now all the companies are kind of steering towards that direction, and they're upping their limits on how much you can get. And that goes back to that section that I was telling you about for the brokers that we work with. The COVID section on the Hub website is really a terrific resource, because it's telling them how much coverage you can get in terms of your age, different solutions, how much you can get without meeting with a nurse. And that's being updated frequently, because all the companies are meeting right now and figuring out how's the best way to do business in this environment, and even post-COVID environment. Most specifically, these next 4 weeks, these next 8 weeks, whatever the period is.
Amazing, love it. All right, so now we have a good understanding of the financial services sector, right? We understand it's evolving. We understand brokers, still going to be doing their daily activities, connecting, marketing themselves. One thing we didn't touch on enough, I think, if you're not if you're a broker that hasn't really started to discover the power of social media, now is the time. Start getting content out there, start writing, start educating your audience, because Lorne is a marketer. He's a master marketer, I think, and he's been able to continue to generate leads before. He's continuing to generate leads through this. And obviously, depending on your skill set, not everyone is a marketer, but you can start doing something online. And I see it. People are always asking in the forums and stuff. There's lots of opportunity out there. So don't just sit back. try to learn, maybe now's the time, how to help yourself to attract new business.
And build your community. I think that's one
That's a
major
big
thing. For anybody in sales, right, is, back in the day, the traditional way of marketing and business development was you go out and you meet a lot of people. Well, now you can't really go out and meet a lot of people. So, what we like to call the cocktail parties moved online. So how are you engaging and growing your networks online? How are you database building? And I think that's going to be really important for anybody, any financial advisor.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's a key point, and I think a really good thing is that, like you said, build your network and do it in a, you always want to do it in my mind in a way that's not just this is what we offer.
Yeah.
Find out about your clients, find out if they're interested in, fishing, if they're interested in art, if they're interested in, whatever they're interested in. A great tool is setting up Google Alerts. So if you have, 20, 25 people, 30 people in your kind of core center of influence, find out what they're interested in, set up Google Alerts, and you can find out relevant articles on their interests and share those articles. Come across an interesting article on, on fishing or on art, and you share that with those people. And that way it's not just, this is what I can provide you in terms of what I offer, but you're finding out more about them and becoming, building a relationship, because that's really, that's one of the things we talked about before, is building a relationship was important before. It's even more important now. It's just you're going about building the relationship in a slightly different way, but you still have to build relationships. It's still about building trust and offering value to people.
I agree 100%. And also, I think, now more than ever, the power of community is really relevant. I think, any businesses that are navigating this or trying to navigate this, I think there needs to be some social helping on the other side. So one side is obviously you want to provide for your family and your employees and your businesses. And I think the other side is, how are you helping your community? How you're helping your clients, being there. And I think that's important. I think people want to hear that from you and from business owners.
Yeah, for sure.
Sure. Okay, so let's continue this on. Now let's talk about your other passion project is FitAfter45, which I follow along. I'm not 45 yet.
Yeah.
But I do. But
you're welcome as soon as you become 45.
Okay.
If you're not, you're still welcome. There's lots of people on there that are sharing their fitness and health tips that are under 45. So you're all welcome.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it holds true for really anyone. I found, as I got a little bit older, I turned 40 last year, you kind of have a bit of a shift in the mindset that you got to be taking toll of where you are right now and taking those daily activities and making sure that you're doing something to stay active. Because when I took a couple of weeks of not being active, I could feel it in every part of my body and my mental state and all that kind of stuff. So give us some pointers. What should we be doing at home, my friend?
In terms of what you should be doing at home, it's really, I always say I think there's really three components to being healthy in terms of fitness. The first one, the big one, is the mental component, and they all kind of intertwine. I mean, the mental side, having, being very careful on the information that you're letting in. I mean, we all want to be informed, but I think you can get yourself informed in probably 20 minutes in a day, maybe even less, rather than 3 hours sitting like a zombie in front of CNN and just having the headlines dictate your mindset. So getting that right mental set, and a big part of it is we talked about it, just to start the gratitude. I threw out a gratitude challenge on Facebook, 3 things you're grateful for each day, and I try and do that with my own family each day, and we'll each give 3 things we're grateful for each day, and it sets the tone. And there's a very interesting quote, and I'm trying to think where I heard it from, but one of the speakers that I listened to says you can't be grateful and fearful at the same time. So if you're grateful, it's going to set your day up in a very good way. And it's getting that mindset in the right spot. Those first 20, 30 minutes in the day, set it up to plan out your day, have your workout or the activity that you're going to have, mark that into your daily agenda first. So all the other things set aside from, your level of activity. All your other appointments are going to be surrounded around that. So if you're going to work out at 9 a.m., if you're going to work out at 7 a.m., if you're going to work out at 12 p.m., build that into your schedule first. And when you're writing out your daily schedule or you're looking at your daily schedule, start it off with those 30 minutes of gratitude, setting up your plan for the day. So before the day attacks you, you're able to attack the day. You're saying, this is what I'm going to do from this point on to the end of the day. And you have it mapped out, and there's going to be stuff that comes in, but at least you have it kind of mapped out with what you're going to try to achieve that day. So the mindset, I would say, is number one. Number two, some type of physical activity each day. I mean, depending on what you have at home, you can, going out for a walk is a great thing as long as you're keeping your, your social distancing. But I mean, you're getting a lot of bang for your buck with that because you're getting the fresh air, you're getting the sunlight, you're getting everything kind of going and getting yourself in the right state and getting a little bit of exercise in there. And then I myself personally try to have some type of resistance training 4 days a week. I normally go to LA Fitness in Thornhill. I'm not doing that now as nobody is, but I have a decent gym at home, not an LA Fitness, but a decent gym at home where I'll do still doing weight training 4 days a week, and then the other days I'll be doing some type of cardio. I have a rebounder that I do some jumping with, and then I have some different stuff online that I might do to do some cardio work or some just different stuff that I might do. I might go for a more intense walk, something along those lines. And that's generally my fitness regime is usually 4 days of some type of resistance training and 2 to 3 days of some type of cardio work. And in the summer and hopefully spring, and hopefully when this all changes around, I also play a lot of softball. So do a lot of that. And yeah, that's something that I'm looking forward to hopefully doing again soon. Yeah. So that would be the mental side, the exercise side, and then the nutrition side's the other big one, is making sure you get your fluids. I always start off each day, and this is no different in this environment or any environment, with 2 big glasses of water, and I supplement with some vitamin D in the colder months. Vitamin C, I've been taking a lot of that with the everything going on, and a little bit of oregano oil, and those are some of my staples. And then just having a very, trying to have a very nutritious diet. I'm a big believer in a version of the keto type diet. It doesn't work for everyone, but I follow what I call a clean keto diet, which is healthy proteins, healthy fats, minimal grains and carbs. Most of my carbs come from fruits and vegetables, berries being the primary fruit, and lots of vegetables and lots of healthy fat, and moderate amount of protein. So that's kind of the diet that I follow. Not everyone follows that type of diet, but it's worked well for me. Even if you don't, I think eating, foods that are nutritious foods are kind of key. So, I think whatever the diet, vegetables should be a really big part of it. So definitely in also in today's environment, that's a big part of things.
Awesome. Love it. That was great. I think that's really good insight into, both sides of business and, a little bit of personal health and well-being.
And definitely, if you want some inspiration, if you want to be part of the gratitude challenge, you got to follow our friend Lorne Marr. He definitely is an inspiration. You've been an inspiration to me in my career, I have to say. So I thank you for that. And, I appreciate our relationship, even though we don't see each other or talk to each other too much, but we do, I do reach out once in a while, and I know you always have some philanthropic stuff going on as well. So always love to see. So Lorne, I really do appreciate you taking your time. I wish you all the best on the new endeavors with Hub Financial. I'm a broker there, so I'll definitely see you around, and I really do appreciate it. And thanks so much, my friend.
Oh, my pleasure. Anytime. Look forward to connecting more soon.
Okay, thanks,
Lorne.
Lorne. Have a great day.
Have a
Stay
good
safe.
one.
Bye. Thanks.
Bye.